Hello, what's up guys, Medium Guy here. Welcome to the next video, my video series dedicated to Caddy, and in this video we'll try to learn some basics about load balancing in Caddy. So without any delay, let's get down to work. So right before I start this video, if you want to deep dive in the concept of load balancing, I have a video for which you can find the link in the description section of this video. Also in this video I'll try to give some basic explanation about all the process of load balancing and why do we actually need to implement this process. So suppose you have multiple services that you want to actually reach to high availability and always respond to your clients, and you have multiple servers that you want to make use of all these servers to actually be handling the requests. So you actually will be able to use all these resources on these different servers, and as a result you'll be able to handle much more requests than just having one server and handling all the requests with that exact one server. So actually we use some services as load balancers in front of all these servers that actually are running all our services, and by making use of this load balancer we'll be able to actually handle much more requests, distributing incoming requests into all these servers. So as we know, we are already using some services like Caddy or Nginx or any other reverse proxy in order to proxy the incoming requests from our clients to our backend services. So actually this is exactly the best place to also implement our load balancing to actually reach to this high availability point. So the thing that will actually happen is that so far we tell the Caddy server to actually proxy the incoming request to a backend server. So the thing that will be defining to the Caddy server is that instead of only proxying it to one defined backend server, will actually give some list of servers that will actually handle the exact same request the same way, because the backend logic will be exactly the same. So whichever the backend server the Caddy will proxy the request to will be exactly handling the request in the same process and will actually return the same response. So the client won't actually notice which backend server actually did the processing of the request. Also, as you can see in this picture, we've got some clients that are making their requests like visiting our websites or making API calls or whatever ways like that, and somehow on the internet these requests are received by our Caddy server, which is also acting as our load balancer. Then the Caddy, based on its configuration, will decide on which server to proxy the request to. Also, one other cool feature that we can reach in this implementation is that suppose one of our servers for any reason gets down and won't be responding to our requests. Also in these scenarios, the load balancer will notice that exact server is down and then will try to proxy the requests among the other servers that is actually running the exact same backend service. So as you can see in the reverse proxy directive documentation on the official website for the Caddy, if I move down right over here, we've got some configuration that we can set to implement the load balancing feature in the Caddy. So if you want to actually get into much more details, I'll actually recommend to read through these documentations, but in order to demonstrate how to implement all this process, I'll actually move to the terminal, and right over here if I hit ls, you can see that I've got some files and configurations that I've prepared for this video, and actually I'll put all these files in my GitHub repository, for which also you can find the link down in the description section of this video. So first thing, I'll try to nano the Docker Compose file, and right over here you can see that I've got two backend services which are actually some echo server that will respond with the detail of whatever request that it's received. Down over here I've got the relevant service for the Caddy, which I'm using the Caddy official image with some recent tag, and over here I'm setting the restart policy to let the Docker engine know that it has to restart this container for whatever reason that it might be stopped. And on the environment variable section I'm setting the time zone to actually configure the time zone inside the container that will be created, that will actually have my Caddy server running inside that. or using this exact same method, you can actually provide other environment variables that you might need in order to customize the Caddy server running inside this container. So on the ports section, I've got the port 80 and 443 mapped to exact same ports inside the container. That later I'll actually try to configure the Caddy server that will be running inside this container to listen to exactly the same ports. So as a result, the clients from the outside network will be actually using the host machine's IP address that will be running this container, and by making requests to these two ports on the host machine's IP address, they will eventually be able to communicate with the Caddy server running inside the container. And lastly, right over here on the volume section, I'm actually mapping the ./Caddyfile to /etc Caddyfile inside the container. So this configuration file is the default file that the Caddy will try to initially configure itself when it is coming up and handle our requests based on this configuration file. And lastly, I've got the ./data and ./config directory mapped to /data and /config inside the container. So the Caddy will use these two directories in order to store its data and configuration files that it will be creating along the process. So I'll exit the nano, and if I try to nano the Caddyfile, right over here you can see that on the global section I'm setting the automatic redirect to HTTPS port to off, so as a result I'll be able to make requests to the HTTP port also. Then this is the exact same place that I'm telling the Caddy to listen on port 80 and 443 inside the container, and right over here I've got a handle block that I'm actually reverse proxying the /API to the backend on port 80 and backend 2 again on port 80. So these two are the service names of the echo servers that I defined inside the Docker Compose file, and because all these containers will be created using the same Docker Compose file, they'll be actually sharing the same network, and as a result they'll be able to connect and communicate through their service names. So for environments that are not similar to this, you can actually pass your fully qualified domain name of your backend services, or simply just the IP ports of their addresses instead of these two names that I've passed right over here. So I'm passing some external configuration to actually check for the health of the backend services, and as a result the Caddy will be able to mark any of these two backend services as unhealthy, and actually as a result will not proxying the requests to that unhealthy backend service. And right over here I'm setting the load balancing policy to round robin, so actually the Caddy will be sequentially send the request to each of these backend services. So if I go to the official documentations for the load balancing policies, you can see that by default it is set to random. So if you don't configure this to Caddy, it will just randomly proxy the requests among the given backend services. Also, the available policies you can find right over here with the description for each of these policies. Like for example, we have the round robin and the least connection. So like Caddy will actually proxy the request that actually has the least connection on that exact moment. Also, we have the IP hash that will actually map the remote IP of the client to a sticky upstream server. So in this method, Caddy will try to check the client's IP address and will actually proxy all the requests that are coming from that exact IP address to exactly one of the backend services. So as a result, all the requests from one exact client will be proxied to one exact backend service. So I recommend for deep diving in these policies, you read through this documentation. And if I move back to the terminal, I'll try to exit the nano. And if I say docker compose op-d, I'll actually see as the result that all my containers are being created, attaching to a network, and as I said, because they'll be sharing the same network, they'll actually be able to see each other through their service names. So if I say docker compose ps, I'll be checking that all my containers that are created by this docker compose file are in op status with exact same ports mapped to inside each of those containers. Also by saying docker compose logs -f2 follow, and --tail 100 to grab the latest 100 lines of the output of these containers. So I'll hit enter, and actually it is logs and not log. I'll hit enter, and you can see the logs of the 3 containers that are created by this Docker Compose file. And right now you can see that the Caddy is making the health check requests to both containers. Even right now that I haven't made any requests to each of these backend services, they are actually being called on the /health by the Caddy server to check if they are healthy or not. So by using another terminal, I'll actually be trying to make requests to the Caddy server to check the load balancing working correctly or not. So by using curl, I'll pass http localhost on port 80, and if I hit enter, you can see that I'm receiving some static response, and that is because right over here on the Caddyfile, I have some other handle block that actually handles all other requests except for the /API and responding with some static content. So again, I'll try to open the logs, and this time I'll try to make requests to the /API. And if I hit enter, you can see that the request is proxy to backend instance 2. And again, if I hit enter again, you can see that requests are being proxied to my backend services using the round robin policy. So right now I'll try to remove one of the containers that actually has my backend services. So I'll say docker rm-f. And by using this command, I'll try to remove instance 1 of my backend services. And if I hit enter, so right now I have one backend service, and I am actually expecting the Caddy to mark the first instance as unhealthy and proxy all my requests to the second backend service. And as a result, I don't actually expect to get no responses from the instance 1 if the Caddy server mistakenly proxy the request to the instance 1 of the backend services. So again, by using the curl command, I'll try to make requests, and as a result also you can see that I'm getting 200 for all my requests because they are being proxied to the second and available instance of my backend services. So lastly, if I try to say docker compose up-d again, and by doing this my first instance will come back up again, and as a result I'm actually expecting the Caddy to go back to normal and proxy the requests between 2 of my instances of the backend services. So again, if I hit the curl command, you can see that again my requests are being proxied using the round robin policy between the 2 backend instances. So that's all for this video. I hope you learned something new in this one. If you have any questions, any recommendations, of course go ahead and ask me in the comment section of this video. And if you found this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to help grow the channel and motivate me to create more free contents like this. And lastly, if you haven't watched the previous videos, I recommend you give a visit in which you can learn about the basic installation and basic concepts and some other cool features like bot detection, IP restriction, integrating Caddy with an external authentication server, and all cool things like that. Also, if you want to learn about how to configure all these features in Nginx or Kong API Gateway, I've got the whole playlists for these 2 tools also, again for which you can find the links on the description section of this video. So with that, that's all for this video, and I hope to see you in the next videos.